I'm standing here in the vineyard with Gerd,
Yes.
who's the winemaker for quite an interesting project here. To start with, where are we? Where is this vineyard?
Well, we're in the middle of Tuscany, near a village called Cortona, which is famous because it's quite an ancient village on the hills here. And this is a region that's become more and more famous now for Syrah. It was actually it's one of the DLC regions for Syrah, I think probably the only one in Italy. And the other side of the mountains, over there's Montalcino, and there's also Brunello, and a bit further up more towards Siena and Florence, we've got the Chianti Classico area and the Chianti areas, and we've got all the Colli Senesi, Colli Fiorentini as well. Looking south, we're looking at already the next region, which is Umbria. So we're in this sort of triangle of Umbria, mountains, and the rest of Tuscany.
But we're standing in a vineyard with Syrah, which is a bit strange.
We are standing in a Syrah vineyard, which is strange, which is relatively recent. It was started here in the first vineyards were planted in '88, I believe, in terms of looking at new opportunities of growing and expanding the varietal spectrum of Italian grape varieties grown in Italy. And so here, the people in Cortona, and especially at this estate, they were doing some work with Milano, with the University of Milano and so on, and they found that Syrah grows really well in the soil. The soil is quite a rich, really heavy soil. You can almost think of terracotta here. It's got a real good depth. There's some limestone in it, but the roots can go meters deep here, and you see it's very dry on top, but actually below there's a lot of moisture, there's a lot of nutrients. And Syrah loves this, and this vineyard is also planted in a way based on some ideas more around in France. It's high density planting, about 7,000 vines per hectare, and we have a very low canopy, and the grapes hang a bit low, but just to make space for all the different plants to grow. So it's very little yield per vine, but overall very nicely distributed with lots of green leaves.
But the Syrah works well here?
It works really well here in Tuscany, in this part. The color is really intense, good structure the wines get. We are now picking on the 15th of September this year, and the phenolic ripeness is sensational. The pips are all really well matured, so we can do a lot of work in the winery now with the grapes.
But now do the work in the winery, and we're picking. We just finished a bit of picking this morning here, but we're picking for a quite unusual, special project. Well, because we're picking, but then we're putting all the grapes in the truck.
We do that, yes. We pick by hand. Everything's picked here by hand in little cassettes, little boxes, just about 3.5 to 4 kilos per box. And then they get stacked up on top of each other on pallets, and there's a cooling truck waiting here just next to the vineyard, and we'll put all the grapes in. They get transported chilled at about 5 to 8 degrees centigrade, all the way from here, from this beautiful place in Tuscany, all the way through half of Europe, going up to Sweden, to the southern part of Sweden, to Skåne.
And why to Skåne? What's happening?
Well, in Skåne, happening. We have a little winery there, and we are looking at doing the vinification in Skåne. We have several ideas about having some vinification in open top fermenters out of oak. There's some terracotta pots as well. We also have a sorting table. We will sort the grapes again. They have had their first sorting, their first triage here in the vineyard, but the second one we'll do at the stemming, at the taking off the stalks from the bunches, and then it will all go into the tanks and we'll let it ferment.
So what kind of wine will you make from this? What's your ideas?
I have tasted a lot of the Syrah wines here, which are fantastic. I really like them, but some are really quite structured and really full-bodied, need a lot of time to mature. I would say 3-4 years. I think we'll probably aim for something a little bit different, slightly bit more fruity, maybe a bit more delicate in terms of the tannin structure, but also something that maybe can be released in 2 years' time and drunk in 2 years' time. We will also make, as I said, we have different options. We will also make something a little bit more structured to maybe release a few bottles 3 years after harvest. So this is very much at the very, very beginning of an experimental stage of something to look at different options.
So you're bringing everything from here up to Nordic Sea Winery.
Yes, exactly.
Is that a challenge? Is it a problem bringing all the grapes up there? Will they survive the 2,000 kilometers drive up to
That's
Skåne?
a good question. This is the first time we do it now from here, from this distance and this long. But I'm sure it will work because the way we work at the maximum. This is ultra premium winemaking technology we use here, and manual, or very manual, picking everything by hand in small boxes, 3 kilos, 4 kilos maximum per tray. You would probably transport the best table grapes in the world to markets where, you know, very prestigious markets like this. And normally grapes are picked in bigger baskets and maybe sometimes by machine. They're more mechanically damaged, therefore they can't be transported too long. In this case, because they're completely intact, no damage, and the temperature, we can transport them easily, I think, for 2,000 kilometers. But we'll see on Monday morning when they arrive.
And then, when do you think the wine, the finished product, when will that be
I think
ready?
to be honest, we have an open mind, I think. As I said, we're probably aiming for something a little bit faster releasable, but maybe 1.5 years to 2 years we should, because we really want to give the wine its time to mature in the barrel in the winery before it's actually released, and we'll have to study a little bit the tannins and how they mature as well. Yes.
Well, it will be a very interesting experience. First to see what's happening in the Nordic Sea Winery,
of course, yes.
And then how the actual wine turns out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we look very much forward to also do these different trials with the experiments and so on. Of course, we also see the wine region here and study how the wines are performing and over years and aging potential and so on. We'll take all this into consideration when we make the wines now. But bit by bit, now we pick the grapes, then we'll offload them on Monday and do the first process, the destemming, the putting in the tanks, and then we'll also analyze a little bit, taste the quality of the tannin, of the 2016 tannin, and then we'll get more understanding how we can work the ferments, how intense, and then probably also have a look and study what potential we have for aging, and if it's 2 years or 2.5 years or 1.5 years.
So it's a bit by feeling.
Exactly, yes. We do everything by feeling. We taste probably the tanks, the fermentation once, twice a day. We then decide what to do the next day or even during the day, and then it's ongoing. The pressing is very important when we start pressing to analyze the juice, the separation of different types of pressings.
So in fact, what you have now done in the Nordic Sea Winery is you have installed new equipment, because it's the first time that you actually make the wine, make the fermentation.
Absolutely brand new. The machines haven't been run yet fully. They've been tested, of course.
Cross your fingers, they will run on Monday.
Everything has been crossed. The wooden vats we have already used. They have, but we also got some terracotta pots, big 500-liter tanks of water. And so those are brand new, and but the machine, we know that it's running. So, but we also have to have some people. We're going to have to train some people up there on the grapes and what we want to that pass the selection process, and what we have to take out after the crushing or before the crushing. And so that will be interesting.
Fascinating project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.